It's Monday morning. Two athletes walk into the gym. One clips a 45-pound plate to his belt and heads for the pull-up bars. The other loads up a barbell for heavy bench press. Different equipment, different approach, but the same goal: build muscle and get stronger. I know this story well because I've lived both sides. There was a time when I lived in the weight room, chasing the pump with barbells and dumbbells. And there was another chapter where I trained like a machine on the bars. Weighted dips, muscle ups, heavy pull-ups. Two different worlds, but both taught me something about what it really takes to grow. In this video, we're going to put both training styles head to head. I'll walk you through their differences, their benefits, and their limitations. We'll compare strength, muscle growth, aesthetics, functionality, and by the end, we'll answer the big question: which one is better? Mike trains like a classic bodybuilder. Splits, machines, free weights. He chases the pump, adds weight weekly, and follows a precise plan of progressive overload. It's all about isolating muscles and pushing them to grow with more weight, more reps, and more effort. Alex takes a different route: weighted calisthenics. Instead of machines, he masters movements: pull-ups with 50 pounds, deep weighted dips, handstand push-ups. His progression comes from adding difficulty or weight, not just stacking plates. I've done both. Hitting a 90-plus pull-up felt just like setting a new bench press PR. The soreness? Same. The satisfaction? Same. Both styles use intensity and progression, two proven keys to muscle growth. Whether it's a heavy bench or a brutal set of ring dips, it's the effort that counts. Two methods, one goal. Which one builds more muscle? Let's find out. After months of training, Alex and Mike face the mirror. Two physiques shaped by two very different styles. Mike, the bodybuilder, is broad and bulky. His chest pops from bench presses, his arms are thick from curls, and his legs are massive thanks to squats. At 180 pounds, he's heavier than Alex, partly from his bulking approach. Alex, the calisthenics athlete, is lean and cut. Think like a gymnast. His chest is angular, his back wide, and his abs razor sharp from years of core-intensive movements like dips, pull-ups, and levers. He rarely isolates abs, yet they're one of his strongest features. Mike clearly wins in leg mass. Nothing beats heavy squats for lower body growth. But Alex holds his own with explosive strength and definition. Both have powerful upper bodies. Mike built his with isolation, Alex with heavy compound bodyweight movements. His dips and pull-ups hit just as hard, especially on the triceps. Aesthetically, they both look great. Mike has the mass, Alex has the definition. But looks don't tell the full story. So who actually built more muscle? And in what areas? Let's break it down. Here's where science meets experience. Both Mike's weightlifting and Alex's weighted calisthenics are forms of resistance training. And the research is clear. If you train hard and apply progressive overload, muscle will grow, whether you're lifting a barbell or your own body. One study compared traditional weight training to bodyweight exercises and found no significant difference in muscle size gains. The key? Intensity and progression. Mike adds plates to the bar, Alex adds difficulty or weight to bodyweight moves, like progressing from push-ups to weighted dips. They both push near failure, often working in the 6 to 12 rep range, which research shows is optimal for hypertrophy. Alex doesn't need to crank out 50 push-ups, he just makes the movement harder to stay in that growth zone. Mike's bodybuilding style allows for targeted isolation. He can laser in on a lagging muscle. Alex's calisthenics, on the other hand, emphasizes compound movements, training multiple muscles at once. While he can't isolate his biceps like Mike, heavy pull-ups and chin-ups hit them hard. In the end, both athletes built impressive physiques through different paths. Mike may carry more total mass, especially in the legs, but Alex's lean, dense muscle shows that weighted calisthenics can match traditional lifting, as long as the effort and progression are there. Next, let's look beyond size. Who's stronger and who performs better? Muscle size is one thing, strength is another. So how do Mike and Alex compare? In absolute strength, Mike comes out on top. Years of heavy bench presses and barbell squats give him the edge in raw numbers. For example, Mike benches 275 pounds with ease, while Alex, strong from dips and push-ups, presses 225, but struggles with the technique since he rarely trains barbell movements. Strength is specific to what you train, but when it comes to relative and functional strength, Alex shines. Let's strap 50 pounds to both of them and challenge them to pull-ups. Alex cranks out 10 reps, Mike, maybe 1 or 2. Alex's training built elite strength to weight control. He can do muscle-ups, handstand push-ups, and even static holds like back levers. feats that require total body coordination and balance. Calisthenics develop more than just muscle. It builds stability, control, and real-world athleticism. Machines and barbells, like the ones Mike uses, offer support. Alex, by contrast, must stabilize his body with every rep. Even in explosive power, Alex likely jumps higher or moves quicker thanks to dynamic bodyweight training. Mike might win a deadlift contest, but Alex could breeze through the monkey bars or Spartan race. One day, they test each other's strengths. Alex struggles with Mike's strict curls and barbell maxes, while Mike fails a clean muscle-up and wobbles trying to do a handstand. They laugh, learn, and realize that each method builds strength, just in different forms. Studies back it up. Whether it's a push-up with a plate or a barbell press, as long as the intensity and effort are there, both build strength. But how that strength shows up, that depends on how you train. Let's break it down. Which muscles grow more with calisthenics versus bodybuilding? Let's start with the back. Both Alex and Mike built wide, muscular backs. Alex with weighted pull-ups and muscle-ups, Mike with rows and pull-downs. Studies show pull-ups activate more muscles than pull-downs, especially in the lats, arms, and core. So while Mike's rows and deadlifts may give him more lower back muscle and thickness, Alex's back has incredible definition and functional strength. Now let's look at the chest. Alex relies on weighted dips and push-up variations. Mike uses the bench press, incline presses, and flies. Research shows both styles grow the chest effectively if you train hard and progressively. Alex's dips emphasize lower and outer pecs, while Mike's routine might build a more evenly shaped chest. But in raw size, it's close. Now the arms. Mike isolates with curls and pushdowns. Alex uses chin-ups and dips, moves that hit the biceps and triceps hard. EMG studies back this up. Dips activate all three tricep heads, and chin-ups crush the biceps. Mike may have a rounder bicep peak from focused curling, but Alex's arms are strong, defined, and nearly as big. Now the shoulders. Mike trains them directly, overhead press, lateral raises, rear delt flies. Alex gets shoulder work from handstand push-ups, dips, and holding static positions like levers. Alex's shoulders are powerful and cut, but Mike likely has more side delt size from isolation work. Then there's the legs. Here's where bodybuilding wins clearly. Mike squats, deadlifts, and presses big weights. Alex does pistol squats and jumps, great for strength and agility, but not for mass. If we're talking leg size and growth, weighted training takes it. Here's some bonus areas. Calisthenics often hits hidden muscles, like Alex's serratus and abs, just through movement. His shredded core is built naturally through pull-ups and push-ups. Mike trains abs separately, so while both have strong cores, Alex's is often more visible. In summary, upper body, it's a tie. Different styles, similar gains. Legs, bodybuilding wins for mass. Core and stability, calisthenics has the edge. The muscle growth potential is there for both. What changes is how the muscle looks, feels, and performs. Weighted calisthenics comes with a set of unique strengths. For starters, Alex doesn't need a full gym to train. A pull-up bar, some rings, or a dip station is enough. Whether it's in the park, backyard, or even a doorway, he can get a full workout. Adding weight is simple, a vest or a dip belt, and the freedom to train anywhere keeps his workouts consistent and enjoyable. His training builds more than just muscle. It builds body control, coordination, and balance. Alex can move his body in space with ease. Muscle-ups, handstands, and front levers demand not only strength, but precision. His core is especially strong, as nearly every movement in calisthenics engages stabilizers. This functional strength carries over into daily life, whether it's playing sports or handling physical tasks. There's also the joint-friendly nature of many calisthenics exercises. Movements like push-ups and dips allow the shoulders to move freely, training the smaller muscles around the scapula and improving posture. Unlike isolation-heavy routines, calisthenics develops the body as a unit. Alex rarely overworks a single muscle. Most exercises recruit multiple areas, building strength evenly and naturally. Perhaps one of the biggest advantages is mental engagement. Calisthenics feels like skill training as much as strength training. Learning a new move, like a handstand push-up or planche progression, adds purpose and variety. For Alex, this keeps things fresh. It's not just about adding weight, it's about mastering movement, which makes training exciting and challenging at the same time. That said, calisthenics isn't without its challenges. Progressive overload, a key to muscle growth, is more complex. In weight training, Mike can simply add 5 pounds and repeat the movement. For Alex, once he can do 20 dips, he has to find a harder variation or add weight. But some progressions, like moving from regular pull-ups to one-arm pull-ups, are massive leaps, not small steps. And doing more reps isn't always efficient. Sets of 30 or 40 can become time-consuming and exhausting. Eventually, Alex had to introduce weights just to keep progressing efficiently, especially for legs. Skill work also creates a trade-off. Advanced holds like the planche look impressive but take months to master and may not lead to much muscle growth. Time spent chasing skills sometimes means less time spent doing hypertrophy-focused work. For someone with a pure muscle-building goal, this can slow progress. Leg training remains a limitation. Alex can do pistol squats and jump variations, but they don't provide the same overload as barbell squats or deadlifts. He eventually added barbell work to grow his legs more seriously, borrowing from Mike's approach. Without that, lower body development in calisthenics can stall. There's also a risk of overuse. Calisthenics is joint-friendly when done right, but doing hundreds of push-ups or deep dips without recovery can lead to tendinitis or shoulder pain. Alex learned this the hard way after a period of excessive pull-up volume. Over time, he had to respect his limits and manage his workload just like any serious lifter. On the other side, bodybuilding has its own clear advantages. The biggest is simplicity and progression. Mike adds weights in small increments, 5 pounds here, a rep there, and tracks his numbers. This clear path ensures steady muscle growth and makes it easy to know when he's improving. Another advantage is targeting. With dumbbells, cables, and machines, Mike can isolate weak points with precision. If his rear delts are behind, he adds flies. If he wants more hamstring growth, Romania deadlifts or curls do the trick. This targeted work helps him sculpt a balanced physique. Alex, by contrast, can't isolate certain muscles, like the side delts, without creative variations. When it comes to maximum hypertrophy potential, bodybuilding leads the way. The biggest, most muscular athletes in the world use heavy weights because it allows for high volume, high intensity training. Mike's toolbox includes supersets, drop sets, negatives, and techniques designed to push muscles to their limit. Calisthenics can build impressive muscle, but to reach elite size, lifting heavy is more effective. This is especially true for legs. Mike's squats, deadlifts, and leg presses load the glutes, quads, and hamstrings far beyond what weighted lunges or jumps can do. The result is not just bigger legs, but stronger, more powerful ones. That strength pays off in everything from sprinting to carrying heavy objects. Functional power that's hard to replicate without iron. Still, bodybuilding has its drawbacks. Mike depends on equipment. Without access to a gym or home setup, his training suffers. Travel or lockdowns can easily disrupt his routine. That makes consistency harder to maintain. Heavy lifting also increases injury risk. A small technical error under a heavy barbell can lead to major setbacks. Could be shoulder strains, back tweaks, or worse. Mike has experienced this firsthand with minor joint issues, and he's seen training partners suffer more serious injuries. While strength training builds resilience, it has to be done carefully. That's why Mike uses safety bars and proper technique, but the margin for error is still there. Another issue is stability and mobility. Machines don't challenge stabilizers much, and repetitive heavy lifting can tighten muscles. Mike found himself struggling with free weight squats after too much leg pressing. He eventually added stretching and rotator cuff work to stay balanced, something Alex had naturally built through full-range calisthenics. Finally, there's the mental grind. Adding a weight week after weeks sounds simple, but it can become monotonous. Plateaus happen. Mike sometimes finds himself dragging into the gym, chasing numbers with less excitement. Both styles offer clear strengths and carry their own limitations. Alex and Mike have each learned to respect what the other one does. Over time, they even began borrowing from each other. Alex added barbell squats for legs, and Mike added bodyweight work for mobility and core. In the end, it's about finding what works, what excites you, and what you can sustain over the long run. Let's fast forward a few years. Building muscle is great, but keeping it while staying injury-free is even better. How do calisthenics and bodybuilding hold up long-term? Both Alex and Mike experienced wear and tear, but in different ways. Alex faced overuse issues like elbow tendonitis from high-rep pull-ups or wrist pain from handstands. Still, his focus on control and mobility gave him strong joints and stable movement. Mike, meanwhile, dealt with the occasional back or shoulder strain from years of heavy lifting. While weights carry a higher risk under load, proper form and smart programming kept him safe. Each adjusted with age. Alex shifted to lighter variation and more skill work, while Mike dialed down max effort lifts and prioritized recovery. They both learned to listen to their bodies and built prehab routines to stay healthy. shoulder mobility, wrist warm-ups, resistance bands, whatever it took to keep training. Sustainability came down to enjoyment. Alex stayed motivated by chasing new moves, while Mike found purpose in steady progression and structured programs. Eventually, their paths began to overlap. Mike added calisthenics for mobility and core. Alex started using dumbbells to challenge his legs. A decade later, both are still strong. Alex is lean, mobile, and injury-free. Mike is muscular, perhaps more so, but manages some joint fatigue from years under the bar. Each found a rhythm that worked, and it wasn't about one style being better. It was about showing up, adapting, and loving the process. In the end, both calisthenics and bodybuilding can be sustainable if done smart. The key isn't the method, it's consistency, smart progression, and finding a style you enjoy enough to keep going for life. If you want to achieve a Greek god physique naturally, make sure you watch my video series where I rank the best and worst exercises for muscle building.